Ladies and gentlemen, it is Wednesday, the 27th of November. It is nearly December. I cannot believe it is nearly December. Welcome, welcome. Every finance, the AMA session today. It's been a while. We haven't hosted these for a little one. Yep, little reunion for us. I will record this. The audio seems to be okay now. You can hear me, which is good. The only thing I am not doing is recording my screen at the moment. So there's nothing to see. There's nothing to see. It's been a crazy year. It has indeed. I hope you're all good. I hope you're all well. So, this conversation today is really, we're going to split it into a couple of sections. The first part is just a catch up, see how you're all doing. We'll talk about where we are, where we've been, and then we'll look at where we're going and what's happening next. So, first of all, glad you can all hear me. Glad that's all working well. All right. So, I've been talking to Habib. The team and everybody behind the scenes have been doing incredible work. They've been working really hard. As you can see, there are some new products that you'll be able to notice that are starting to creep onto the website now. And I have some news for you, which I'll start with actually. There is a new website coming. Not a brand new website, but definitely an update to the current website. So there is an update to the current website that is coming, and it's going to be in a week or so, maybe a little bit longer. You're going to see a couple of little changes there. There's already a few that you can see at the moment. But yeah, a few things that are going to be changing there. So let's just talk about the current website and what you can see. First of all, being the top menu, you'll see that we've changed a few of the things now. From deposit, now it says funds. That is because we've got different funds available. There is risk parity, which we all know, which was the starting product. Risk parity, which we've talked about many, many times. We've got alpha, beta, gamma, and parity itself. For those of you that don't know, parity is a combination of alpha, beta, and gamma. These are products that are basically just a basket of crypto assets. So it might be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, AVAX in one product. It might be something like some Web3 gaming tokens in another. It might be stable coins in another. But between the baskets, they create on different chains different baskets of assets. So you have some on Ethereum. And by the way, if I say diversified and risk managed, what I mean by that is you're not just going to have USDC in this pot. It might be that you have USDC on Ethereum, USDC on Solana, USDC on Binance. Also, there might be USDT. So it's a variation of different stable coins on different networks. So that if, hopefully it doesn't happen, but if there was some black swan event where, we've seen it before, we saw Luna crash, we've seen centralized exchanges limit the fact that you haven't been able to move onto certain networks before. And I think that we've matured over the last few years as an ecosystem. Decentralized finance has definitely matured, but there are still counterparty risks that we have to account for. And that's what we do with these allocations of baskets in alpha, beta, and gamma, or parity. Parity just gives you the purpose of parity is it gives you exposure to all three. So alpha is going to be very aggressive, beta not so, gamma very risk reduced, but parity gives you a chance to choose your weight between the three different products. All right, so we understand, and most of you already know this. I'm just talking about if anyone new is listening or joining in here. And by the way, I am watching a chat in Discord on the live broadcast. I'll also keep an eye on the general chat as well. So if you have any questions, please pop them in there. I will make sure I keep an eye on them. Let me just have a quick look in the general chat. Okay, that's just Habib saying that the chat started. All right, so I'm going to keep an eye on the community AMA chat. So just to acknowledge, I can see some people here already. Abby, hello. JJ, Jodine, good to see you. Zenlord, hey. Habib's here. Wow's here. Crypto 101, good to see you. Good, it's been a while. Hope you're well. Alexi, good to see you. OVX, good to see you. Hi, everyone. Hope you're good. All right, so moving on to the next product that you're going to start to see now. If you're looking on the website, every.finance, you're going to see Omega. Omega is a new product that has launched on Ethereum at the moment, but we have got Polygon and Solana coming soon. So you'll be able to see that. So this is liquid staking and restaking. So it is a product that optimizes your risk-adjusted returns on Ethereum at the moment by staking Ethereum, LSTs or LRTs, which are liquid staking tokens or liquid restaking tokens. So by taking those products that you've already staked, because normally what happens for those, and again, for those of you that don't know, I'm just going to bring you up to speed with this. If you normally stake, let's talk about what happens in that process. And again, I'm sorry if you already know this. I'm really trying to focus on the new people here where this might be a bit overwhelming. So please bear with me on this. I won't take too long. Okay, so what happens when you stake? Well, the first thing you've got to understand is the tokens that you hold. So the token, let's use Ethereum as an example. I think Ethereum's a good example here. So you hold Ethereum. Now, depending on where you hold that, you're going to have counterparty risk. If you're holding it in a non-custodial, decentralized wallet with a seed phrase, then you have ownership. If you're holding it on an exchange like Binance, Crypto.com, Coinbase, or anything else like that, then the counterparty risk is that if that exchange was to crash, or if they were to block your funds, you would not be able to access them. That is the risk. Now, maybe they block your funds because they go bankrupt. That happened with FTX. We saw that. Anybody with funds on FTX lost access to those funds when they went bankrupt. That could happen to Crypto.com. It could happen to Binance. It could happen to anyone. They're just companies. So the purpose of an exchange is to exchange your tokens, but it's not a storage solution. Many people leave their tokens on an exchange because they leave them there for convenience, or if they're going to be trading them. But in terms of long-term storage, it's not an ideal situation. So that's the first thing to consider. The second thing to consider is a lot of these centralized exchanges and some decentralized exchanges offer you the opportunity of yield. You can yield farm. So what that means is you can lock up your tokens and they'll give you extra tokens as a reward. Well, this is fine. There's nothing wrong with this. But when you lock up those tokens, you are sending them to a smart contract. When you do that, you have counterparty risk. You're trusting that the smart contract doesn't get hacked. You're trusting that whoever owns a smart contract isn't going to screw you over, that there's not going to be any problems with that, and that you're going to get your tokens back. But at that time, whilst those tokens are staked, you do not own them. The smart contract owns them. So what happens normally is when you stake your tokens, those tokens then they're staked. There's nothing you can do with them. But in some instances, what we're seeing now is what's known as liquid staking. That means that you can stake your tokens, but then you get the tokens, you still get to keep the tokens in your wallet. So even though they're staked, you still keep control of them. And what liquid staking allows you to do is it allows you to still use those assets whilst they're being staked. That's what liquid staking is. And so having that ability on our platform now allows you to take staked tokens and then you can stake them again for additional yield. Now, this can compound over time, and it's a way to earn additional yield from your tokens. So the next thing that we have come in, and you'll see this now in the fund section, is going to be Sigma. So Sigma is going to be Bitcoin, it's going to be Polygon, BNB, and Solana. So Sigma BTC is going to be designed to enhance both returns and risk management in Bitcoin investments. And it employs a strategy that adjusts exposure based on the market volatility. So this is taking everything to the next level. Again, it's another product that we have here. And so rather than kind of just boring you with the information on Gitbook or on the website, what we've done is on the EV points, if you see on the dashboard on the website, every.finance, EV points, we have what is known as a Zeely campaign. So Zeely is a website which you probably all know about where you can go and you can do quests. It's kind of gamified, so it allows you to do different quests where you can do different things. Now, if you go through and do these quests, you're going to get perks and rewards. You're going to get some additional tokens. You're going to get better conversion rates. You're going to get special Discord roles, which again, in the future may or may not give you additional points, additional conversion rates. So what we're really saying here is the more that you take part, the more we're going to reward you. If you are just passively investing where you're holding your tokens and you're just passively holding them and you're not involved, you're not doing anything, that's fine. you'll still get a reward for that. But the more that you do, the more you'll get rewarded. So you can see there's some very simple things at the start just to help with engagement. That's following us on Twitter or X, um, making sure that you do certain things here and there. You go and check the Discord out. You go and look at the different things that we have available. But then above and beyond that, we want you to learn. We don't just want you to be a sheep and just copy what we say and like, hey, go and like this post. Hey, go and retweet this. We don't want you just to do that. We want you to be able to learn and to gain information about these products and services and what we're offering and how it works and to protect yourself. And so you'll see that in some of the quests. You have to go and you have to answer some questions or you have to go and find out some information. And so as you start to go through these quests, so just an example for some of them here, we've got introducing Omega, we've got introducing Parity, we've got introducing Gamma, introducing Beta and Alpha, as well as the Chapter 3 campaign, which is currently ongoing at the moment. So Zeely is a really good place for you to be able to get an understanding of all of the information and everything that's currently going on. So we highly recommend you check that out. Go to the EV points and you'll be able to find out more there. Okay, so why are we doing this? What's the point? What's the point of points? what's the purpose of the points? Well, we're going to have a token launch and it's going to be next year. We know it's going to be next year. We're hoping it's going to be early in the year, hoping for Q1, but there is something that's going to define what helps that token launch to speed up. Like, how can we expedite that process? And it's going to come through the TVL that is currently locked within the product. So at the moment, if you go onto the homepage, every.finance, you're going to notice that the TVL is $179,682. By the way, congratulations. That is already, well, from the last time we checked this, the last AMA, we've almost doubled our TVL, which is amazing. Remember, we're getting to 100,000. We're now nearly at 200,000. Markets are starting to pick up. Bitcoin's starting to grow again. We had a little pullback, a very, very healthy pullback in the market last couple of days. But now we're almost back up to $97,000 Bitcoin again. We can see the altcoins now starting to pump up, starting to see some movement. There was some speculation whether we would see an altcoin season, given the fact that a lot of people, if you listen to them, will tell you, oh yeah, well, this is the cycle. This is what happens. You know, we have a halving event and we have a presidential election in the US. And by the way, the US presidential election this time is different, but yeah, not the previous ones. But anyway, what we normally see is 6 months after the halving, we start to see some movements. We see a bit of a bull run. Bull run lasts for about 6 months. Then we go into a 3.5-year hibernation. Everything dumps into the ground. Rinse and repeat. However, this time's slightly different because a lot of the accumulation of Bitcoin now, we're starting to see Brazil, Canada, America. They've all talked about having Bitcoin reserves. We're starting to see, well, we've already seen ETFs and the likes of BlackRock and other hedge funds and other big funds that are coming on board and trusts that are starting to buy this up. You've got Michael Saylor, who's just buying every opportunity he can with MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy currently the top performing asset in the world right now, beating everything from Nvidia to Tesla to Apple and everything in between, absolutely flying. And so now people are starting to buy into this. So we're seeing a lot of momentum and a lot of adoption. The challenge is that through these ETFs and a lot of the money that's going into Bitcoin, it can't naturally flow into altcoins because it's locked into the ETFs. Also, a lot of the people buying Bitcoin aren't necessarily going to be selling it anymore. There is the potential we're going to see what's known as a supply shock. What that means is that you'll go onto an exchange like Binance, you'll go to buy Bitcoin, and they won't have any on their order books. One of two things is going to happen at that point. One, they'll create synthetic Bitcoin, and we've seen this before, where you'll buy Bitcoin, but you won't actually have or own it. Not too sure about that. Coinbase did that a little while ago, and very, very dodgy. You've got to be careful. eToro used to do that as well. We used to buy an asset but not own that asset, so be careful. But that's something we could see. The other thing we're going to see is supply and demand. If there is no Bitcoin on the exchanges, well, remember what happened during COVID? Do you remember the toilet paper situation where everybody was rushing out to stockpile toilet paper? Well, we could be seeing that. We could be seeing that with Bitcoin, and it's very, very, very likely that Bitcoin goes from 100 to 150 to 250 very, very quickly. Very quickly if we see that supply shock. Now, as a result, we're not going to get that natural flow from Bitcoin into the altcoins that we have done previously. But that doesn't mean that altcoins won't pump, because they can. Specifically, if you look at, and I'm not talking to you, this is not you, I'm not directing this at you. In general, if you look on crypto Twitter or x.com, if you look on the crypto aspect of social media, there's a lot of what we'll call degenerate gamblers. Let's just be polite. Degenerate gamblers that are betting on meme coins, that are betting on everything where they want to make as much money as possible. Well, if Bitcoin's at 100,000, what's the chance of it going to 1 million? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe this cycle, maybe not. The point being is you might get a 2x return. Maybe. Possibly you may get a 3x return. But if you were in altcoins, let's say you're in CRO, for example, or, Solana, for example, maybe you've got some Ethereum, there's a chance that you're going to see maybe a 3, 4, 5, maybe even a 10x. So the altcoin system still has value. There's still some really good projects, and people are more than likely, when they realize they can't make those gains in Bitcoin, they're probably going to roll into alts, and you'll see a lot of retail, you'll see a lot of money coming in that way. But just, I don't think we're going to see the institutions and the governments and the big players. Maybe they'll pick one like we've seen Cardano recently. Cardano is a good example where Charles Hoskins has now said that he's going to be governing or he's going to be advising government in the US on policies for crypto, and all of a sudden ADA's now pumping. And let's be fair, we always saw Cardano as the academic governance white paper blockchain, as opposed to Ethereum, which is kind of like the OG cool kids. Solana, which is kind of like the cheap, let's do it all, from meme coins to gaming. Everything's kind of got its place. And the best way to think about that is social media. Instagram is very well known for its images, LinkedIn for its business, Twitter for its quick responses, Facebook for your parents and old people. Everything's got its place. Every social media has its place, and they all work alongside each other, and blockchains are kind of the same. There's going to be trends on different blockchains. Some chains are going to be more popular than others. And so that's another thing to consider. So anyway, just talking about that landscape, these are things that are considered through the algorithm, through everything that's locked up within every finance. And these are all things that we take a lot of pride in making sure that not only is the algorithm working, but we're able to fact check and look through that and see everything. And it's why we've got, and you're going to see this, we're going to be able to start sharing this. And I don't know if Habib can guide me on when this is going to go live. I'm not even sure if I should tell you this. I'm going to anyway. I would much rather beg for forgiveness than ask for permission. But we are going to be sharing the information and the data from all of the back testing. So you're going to see all of the back testing data. And Habib, sorry if I'm not meant to share that just yet. I don't know if it's been mentioned or if people are aware, but it's going to be live. It may even be live, but yes. Okay, so Habib is just saying we will share the research reports very soon. So you'll be able to see how things are performing, and it's going to be literally in days, not weeks or months. We're talking about days, and you'll be able to see this. So all of this information is going to be shared. So there's a lot going on at the moment. I can also share with you, whilst I'm getting myself into trouble and telling you things I shouldn't be telling. You're getting some alpha here now. We have a partnership because we have just been accepted for a grant on a new blockchain. So you can expect to see in the near future a new blockchain added to the list. And I'll let you have a quick guess as to what that might be. And in fact, if anybody gets it in the comments, maybe we'll send them a little reward. Maybe we'll send you a little well done. Can you guess what blockchain we've got coming? It is not Solana. No, it is not Solana. There is a new blockchain. It's not C. No. See if you can guess the blockchain. It's not DOT, but DOT is doing very well recently. I've been very much enjoying watching DOT recover. It does start with an S. Not Casper. Casper's another great one to keep an eye on. No, it's not Base. It does start with an S. I'll give you a clue. Nicole? Papa? If you've ever seen the adverts, you'll know what I mean. Think lager. Think beer. Yep, Arcade Man, there we go. It's the Stellar blockchain. So we are having a new blockchain come on board, and they've obviously agreed to a grant. I don't know if that's public yet. I don't know if I should be sharing it, but yeah, we have the Stellar blockchain, which we think is going to be very, very good for institutional. Well, we feel like it's going to be a very good institutional play alongside things like Cardano in the future, and obviously we know we have Ethereum. That goes without saying, but yes, the Stellar chain doesn't count since you aren't here. Okay, man, he's in the chat. He is here. I can see him. Right, so that's all good. So, as you know, there is a lot going on behind the scenes at the moment. So just to give you a quick update on some of the things that I've been doing behind the scenes, I've really not been as active with the team recently. They've still been working. I've still been logging into the weekly meetings. I've still been keeping an eye on things, but I've taken on a new role myself. So I'm actually teaching at the moment at a university in London. And part of my structure of my syllabus that I'm teaching is blockchain. So I'm actually teaching crypto and blockchain to kind of 18 to 21-year-olds as part of a degree that they're earning. It's part of online monetization. It's part of digital assets. It's part of a bigger course. So understand and know that through some private education facilities, specifically in London, and I know around the world now, they are starting to introduce and teach blockchain, and they want to start doing this. And they're looking at how they can integrate blockchain into universities and into teaching and things like that. So that mass adoption, it's just getting a little bit closer. As a result of this, though, I have been networking and meeting some incredible people. Just last week, I was in a meeting with the Deputy Mayor of London. We've got talks coming up with the Minister of Education for India. There's lots of really good people and lots of really good relationships that we're starting to be able to build. And I'm able to have those conversations about crypto and introduce the projects and the things that we're working on, like with Every.Finance. So there's a lot of stuff there from a more, I would say, top level partnership, strategic connection level that I'm looking into. Habib's been doing a phenomenal job, so's Mal, on the social media side, keeping you all entertained and updated and making sure that we're working on a lot of the engagement, keep those metrics going for the vanity to make sure it all looks good, but also converting that vanity, the numbers, the likes, the shares, the interactions into sanity, so we can actually personify it in a weekly report, and we get that, and we have a very, very clear understanding of how things are going at the moment. So we're starting to build, we're starting to grow. What you're going to notice is that we're not using any of the trash, typical wag me, GM. We're going to throw bots at an account and we're going to pretend. This is all very much organically grown at the moment. And it's hard and it takes a lot longer and it's slower. But in doing it this way, what we're building is a solid foundation. There's nothing wrong with sprinkling on a little bit of, a little bit of magic here and there, but we want to make sure that any of the froth, any of the hype and the mania that's generated is no more than 20%. And the reason for that is we want a solid, absolute rock solid community of like-minded people that know, trust, and understand each other. And we don't want to just bring in trash. If anything comes in, it will come in as surface froth. Some of it will stay and convert, some of it will disappear. But we want to make sure there's real substance to the community. And that's why we're building it this way. So please understand, it's not that we're not as fast or as big or as other projects. It's just, there's just a lot of shady tactics out there when it comes to marketing. And we're not taking part in any of that. And we're not going to just, look, I'll be honest, we're not going to bullshit you. We're not just going to tell you things that look good on paper. We're going to do things that actually work. And you'll see that. And you're starting to see that already. You know, the actions, they speak louder than words. And so the results are in the data, so to speak. So, and the real data, not the manipulated data. So with that being said, if you have any questions, if there is anything that you want to share, if there's anything you need to ask, now is the time to do it. It is being recorded. I am recording this session, Habib, so I will be able to share this afterwards. But yeah, if you have any questions, please ask. These are the things that we'll be able to go through now. So just a few things that we've covered already. We've talked about the crypto market and what's kind of going on and where we are at the moment. I think that we're kind of pushing towards that 100K Bitcoin. If we get there this week, if we get there next week, we know it's coming. We know we'll break through it. We'll just have to wait and see where that goes and what happens. Our products, well, they kind of speak for themselves at the moment. If we look at what our products are, they're a way, let me just explain this in a very simple way. Our products in Every Finance are a way for you to get exposure to the market without worrying about the market. There is a lot of people right now in a lot of groups who are, when do I buy? When do I sell? Should I sell the dip? Should I buy some more tokens? When do I get out? When do I get back in? Am I in trouble? Is anything going to happen? What's happening with this project? What's happening with this chain? And the emotions are taking over. What I have started to say to people now, my private clients, the people that I advise, the people that I work with, you should already know your exit strategy. If your plan is to exit, you should already have that locked in. You shouldn't be just winging this on emotion. You should already have a plan. You should have timers set. You should have, when a token gets to a certain price, we're going to exit. When something happens, we're going to exit. If you're, however, in Every Finance, you've got a dashboard. It's all there. You can just see, right, alpha price is this. When alpha price gets to this, I'm going to pull some out. When beta price gets to this, or when my parity token gets to this, I'm going to pull some out. And what you should be looking to do is risk mitigation. What I mean by that is, let's say you put in $100. Keep it simple. Say you put in $100. Now, let's say you put that into parity, and because of the portfolio over some time, your portfolio is now worth $300. Okay? Now that it's worth $300, you don't want to take everything out, but you do want to remove some of that initial risk. So what you might look to do at that point, now it's hit that $300 mark, is just take out your initial $100. Maybe even take out $25 as profit to go and spend and enjoy and reward yourself. But what you've now got is pure profit. You have removed all risk. If that product then went to zero, if the market crashed, if something went wrong, if it all went to zero, you wouldn't lose anything because you've realized your gains and you're now in profit. Now it's just a case of how much profit. And this is where you can ride that until it gets to $500 and then take out $250. And then you've got $250 and you can keep riding that and you can keep reinvesting that and you can keep getting yield on that. But the idea here is that you don't want to take everything out. You want to leave it in for long enough for it to be able to accumulate enough, but you do want to remove that initial risk. That is something you should definitely think towards. It's really important to do that. That being said, risk equals reward. The more you have in, the more chance you've got to win. But just also know that when the markets turn, and they will because they do, you want to be able to take some of that profit out. Now, the way that the products are designed is that when the market does turn, you shouldn't get wrecked. It's very, very important we set expectations and we manage them correctly. If the market turns, you will see alpha, beta, and gamma correct. You will see them correct. They're not always going to just go up. But when alpha corrects, it will correct less than if you were just holding the native tokens on their own. When beta corrects, it's not going to correct as much as the market does. So you need to understand that there will still be pullbacks, there will still be corrections, but they won't be as harsh than if you were exposed directly to these tokens and these networks. That's very, very important. I do not want you for 1 minute to just assume it's always just going to go up. Parity is audited, yes. Omega and Sigma, I will confirm this with you, but I believe they're going through their audits now. Habib, maybe you can confirm that for me. I know we had a team meeting earlier and it was mentioned, but I just want to double check with that before. I don't want to give you any information that's not correct. I don't know if they've been audited or if they're being audited. Habib is checking as well. I think they're going through the audit as we speak. I think maybe one is done and the other one is being done. I will confirm with you. I'm sorry I don't have that answer, but I will get back to you on that one. So we have our new product, Omega, which is going to be launching. We've got the Chapter 3 campaign. These are all of the things that are currently happening at the moment. And we've currently got our TVL sitting at the moment. If we look on the homepage, you can see it's sitting at $179,000. So the push that we're doing right now is to get the total value locked up to $1 million. Now, there's two ways that's going to happen. The TVL up to 7 figures is going to happen, one, by new people coming in and investing, and also existing people investing more. That's one way that the TVL will be locked, is by people depositing. And the second way that the TVL will grow is because the value of the assets is going up. Because the whole crypto market is going up, all of the assets are going up, so the TVL is also going up. So we're going to see two ways that this is going to grow. One, by new people coming in, and two, by the existing people, their portfolios are increasing in value. So we're looking at the moment and we're waiting for the TVL to get to $1 million. Once the TVL gets to $1 million, we will then start to look at the every token launch. Now, I can't tell you exactly when that's going to be, but we are estimating that we will hit $1 million TVL early next year. At that point, as we start to scale from 1 to 2 million, 2 to 3, up to 10 million, which is going to be the next goal, that journey between 1 and 10 million, during that journey, we will be launching the every token. And so that is where we are right now. So if you have the question, when token, that is your guide. Watch the TVL, see it in real time on chain, and know that as that grows, that is moving us closer to that token launch. With that being said, once the token has launched, we are going to, alongside the token launch, we are going to launch the restitution. The restitution is where we are going to look after everybody from the past that we promised that we would look after. We've promised that from day one. We still mean it. It is going to happen when the token launches. So you have a short-term roadmap now of what is going to be happening between now, the new year, and into the new year. We have our products. Our products are working. They are all doing their job. You can use them. That's done. We will continue to expand chains. We will continue to add partnerships. We will continue to get people to deposit and to grow those portfolios. But we will not be launching a token until we at least hit 1 million in TVL. And it's going to be that journey between 1 to 10 million. Hopefully that's really clear with you. Zenlord says, is the team putting in place a platform tokenomics benefits incentives to help people keep holding every token for the long term? Yes, there is. I'm not going to go into that detail right now. One, because it's not finalized. And two, because we're a little bit too far out from that at the moment. Once we're launching that, we can start to talk about that. I will tell you about one example, though. I will tell you about one example, Zenlord. And that is the idea of, if you've seen Crypto.com and what they're doing with their cards, their Visa cards, a very good program. Really like the idea of the reward program, where you'll have a debit card that you'll be able to load up your balance and you'll be able to convert that into high street, things like Amazon gift cards or Netflix or Spotify or Uber Eats or things like that. So for the things that you're spending in real life on a day-to-day basis, the idea is that you'll be able to offset some of your crypto to buy them directly. That would be ideal. They're things that we're looking into. But again, that's stuff that will come. In terms of the benefits of holding, there's going to, as we've already talked about, there's a performance fee structure that is set within the platform, within the smart contracts. The reason that we have that is because We do not want to just reward token holders with tokens because that doesn't work. It's not sustainable. The reason for that is we keep promising more tokens and promising more tokens, and it just inflates the supply. What we need to do is we need a token burn. So the token burn is our performance fee. As you cash out and as you start to cash out, you'll pay a fee. There's a performance fee on the project itself, and then we can reinvest the profits from those performance fees back into the long-term holders. And that way, when you cash out, you pay a fee for the convenience of using the product. You pay us a fee for what we've managed to achieve. The performance fee means that we don't get paid unless we do well, so that protects you. The admin fee covers all the overhaul costs and the running of everything, and that means that we can, regardless of the market condition, we can keep things going. So having that in place is very, very important for sustainability, and we have to have that. Otherwise, we are no different to a lot of the projects that launched a few years ago that fizzled out and died. We don't want to do that. And also, we don't want to reenact what happened with a form token. I mean, look at it. We can see where it is. We can see where every single DeFi yield farming project is right now. Whether it's Form, whether it's Aqua, whether it's Cake, whether it's anything that was on the Phantom network, Aave and everything that was connected around Geest and all of those projects, if you remember. Look at where Wonderland is now. Look at all of these DAOs and everything. Everything's in a gutter, most of them dead. We're still here. And the reason we're still here is because we know we have something valuable. And so we want to make sure when we launch our token, our token is launched sustainably. What I mean by that is we are not just going to inflate the price. We're not going to just throw tokens away and give them to people for no reason. We have to make sure that we are rewarding long-term users and active users, but in a sustainable way. That is very important. And that is part of the reason we are doing the EV points. All of the engagement that you are doing right now for the EV points will convert into a better ratio when you get your tokens. Just understand that and know that it is coming. And so, yeah, just be involved, keep going, do everything you do. There's nothing really else to say on that at the moment. It is just it's a waiting game. And the more active you are, the more rewards you'll get for it. Okay, haven't started the planning at the moment, but it is worth considering very shortly. It'll be one of our project milestones. Okay, so there we go. That was regarding the tokenomics benefits and incentives to help people. So Habibi is going to be working on that. Have industry leaders and investors shown any interest in the Every platform? Yes, they have. Now, at the moment, I can't name drop, and I don't want to be honest. And the reason I don't want to do that is because I would rather tell you things when they're confirmed rather than speculative, oh, this may happen, or we're talking to these people. I'm not here to try and win points with you. I'm not here to try and impress you. But we are in conversations with the very top and the best known people in the industry and also outside of the industry. We're not just talking to people in this crypto space. We're talking to people outside of the crypto space, people that are looking to come into the space. I already told you, that I'm doing a lot of partnership meetings in the UK at the moment, specifically in London, and that's just a very, very, very small fraction of what's going on. So yes, there are lots and lots of conversations going on, both in and out of the crypto space at the moment, and we will be announcing those as and when the time is right. We want to make sure that the partnerships are not rushed. We want to make sure that everything's done correctly. We want to make sure that we're not just riding that hype train, but we're making sure that the relationships, that they're not just seasonal trends. It's not just, oh, hi, we're going to do this because everyone else is doing it. The processes that we're going through and the relationships we're building, we're looking at 3, 5 to 10-year relationships that we're trying to build here. So long term, like not just this cycle, but the next cycle and beyond. Ultimately, you've got to think about why you're here. What is the purpose of you being involved in crypto? For a lot of people, it's to stack sats. It's to get Bitcoin, right? It's going to be in the future, possibly, but very likely, it's going to be impossible for a lot of people to be able to buy and own a Bitcoin. And the reason I don't think many people on crypto Twitter are excited about the price of Bitcoin is because, let's be honest, degens don't really hold much Bitcoin. They hold everything else. And so Bitcoin should always be the goal. If you're looking at governments that are starting to hold this as strategic reserves, your kids, they're probably not going to be able to afford a Bitcoin, but you can. Now, maybe you can't afford a Bitcoin right now because of the price of it, but if you start to stack up your altcoins and you start to roll up some of those profits, there's nothing to, excuse me, there's nothing to stop you owning a Bitcoin or 2 or 3 or maybe even 10. And that should be your goal, wealth preservation. And the way that you do that is you start to accumulate wealth now, and then you start to store your wealth later. And so, again, in the next generation, they're not going to have the opportunities that you have right now. Your only job right now, in the words of Raoul Paul, is don't fuck this up. That's all you need to do. It's not difficult. Don't get screwed. Don't get scammed. Don't gamble. Don't use leverage. Watch your risk and make sure that you are removing the risk at every opportunity you have possible. You know, we're not just telling you to go and dump money into stuff. Every finance shouldn't be your only product. Yes, it should be part of your portfolio, but it shouldn't be the only thing you do. Because we need to be teaching you about risk management, and we wouldn't be doing that if we were like, yeah, just put everything into us and forget about it. There's also counterparty risk with us as well. But you should be okay with that because you can see through our track records that yes, we've had problems, but we've come through it and we're here. And actions, again, speak louder than words. So this should be part of that portfolio. Now, if you don't have time, if convenience is something that you value, and you don't want to be sitting there looking at charts and you're worried that you're going to emotionally trade and get caught up, then it's going to be a lot safer to put your money into parity than it is to trade the markets yourself. Also, you have to consider that we are doing lots of trades in and out of different tokens. One of the beautiful things, and this is probably one of the most underrated things that we don't even talk about, and we should. In fact, Habib, we should make a note of what I'm about to say right now. If you are trading the market, every time, depending on the country you're in, but every time you sell crypto, either into stable coins, cash, or another crypto, so even Ethereum into Solana, in most countries, you are triggering a taxable event. You are crystallizing a taxable event by trading those tokens. So if you are trading between one token and another, depending on the country you are in, if you're in the States or the UK or Europe or any main country right now, you will be triggering a taxable event every time you exchange your tokens. Every finance is continuously trading tokens and changing tokens and moving things depending on the market. You are not triggering tax events by just holding your token. If you are just holding your NFT or your alpha, beta, or gamma position, until you sell that position, you will not trigger a tax event. That's something to keep in mind, and it's very, very important when you start thinking about the bigger picture. Any other questions at the moment and things you need to go through, ladies and gentlemen? I appreciate we've obviously been here quite a while. We've been here for nearly an hour now, and I want to make sure that I answer any questions. I'm just going to check all the channels, but this is your opportunity. If you've got any questions, Spirit says, I would like to work on your team as a software developer. How should I do this? At the moment, we're not hiring right now. Spirit, we're not hiring right now. However, when we do, you will be able to see the vacancy roles on the website. They will be in the footer on the website. There will be a section that says jobs, and you will be able to click on that, and you will be able to fill in an application form. At the moment, we do not have any roles, but keep an eye on that. That is the best thing I can recommend. And when you see that, and we'll also post it on social once we're looking, but when you see that, that will be the time to apply. But at the moment, we're not. Okay, any other questions? Is the team profitable? individually, as individuals, or are we talking about as a collective? How do you mean is the team profitable? Oh, by fees. Okay. That's a really good question. I do not know. I will find out for you. I will find out for you. I do not know. I do not know what the fees are right now. I do not know what fees have been generated. I do know that we've stopped bleeding. I can tell you that. We are not like, if you look at what happened over the last 6 to 12 months, you'll know that the project was bleeding and Josh was personally propping up this project and keeping it ticking over. We are no longer bleeding. I know that much. Whether we're profitable or not, or breaking even, I don't know, and I don't want to make that assumption, but I will check, I will find out, and I will get back to you. But I do know that morale is good, that Josh is happy, and that the team are working hard. And so just by seeing the energy within the team and looking at the mood of management, I can say that they're not worried and they're not in a bad place, if that helps. But I will find out the answer to that question. We are growing steadily. I don't know if we're in profit or not yet, but I know that we're not bleeding anymore. So we are okay. We are making profit, but whether we've broken even yet, because we were in the red. So I don't know if we're still in the red in terms of the admin fees and everything else, if that makes sense. But yes, we are now profitable in terms of a project, and that is an incredible milestone, because you have to remember that over the last few years there was so many opportunities for this project to die, and it never did. And I can't stress the importance of that enough. The fact that we're still here at the start of this bull run is only a good sign. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been really, really good to chat with you this evening. If there's nothing else, I am going to end it there. If you've got the opportunity, if you've got any other questions, now is your time. All right, so before I wrap up, make sure before you go anywhere, I've got something to share. We are going to start awarding people that show up, people that make an effort, that includes you right here, if you're here right now, NFTs. And that means that if you are here on this call right now, and it has to be live, if you're watching the replay, I'm sorry. I apologize if you're watching the replay. Try and catch the next one. But if you are here right now, please send a DM to Habib. He is in the chat. Please send a DM to Habib. Say hi, Habib. He is in the chat. You can see him there. He has a red color to his name. Make sure you do not send it to an imposter or anyone else pretending. We will never message you first. You have to message us. And if you're going to message us, make sure you click on Habib's name, send him a DM with your EVM wallet address. So it needs to be like your MetaMask wallet. And Habib will send you an NFT reward. Exactly the same as we did with the last AMA. Yes. In the flesh and bones virtually. So what we're going to do is you'll just hold on to that NFT. I mean, you can sell it if you want, but just hold on to that NFT. In the future, you may find that there's some value in these NFTs, but we're not going to speculate. We're not going to tell you right now that they're worth this or worth that, or you're getting this or you're getting that. We're not putting any attachment to them right now. But my advice is to hold on to them. My advice is to hold on to them, because everything right now you should keep hold of until we do our token launch. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything else. And on that note, I'm going to end it here. Thank you ever so much for your time. Habib, is there anything else you need me to cover, or do we need to go through? I think we've covered most of the questions that we've had. We've been through all of the points. 5 blind knives, you are just in time. Do you know what? Because you're here, because you've showed up, make sure you check the messages in a live broadcast. I am going to take a screenshot right now. I am going to post that screenshot for Habib. So now he can confirm. make sure you send a DM to Habib. With your EVM wallet, you will get airdrop. You will get sent an NFT to show your attendance and that you was here. Perfect. And then Five Blind Knives, I'm gonna post a recording, so everything you've missed, you can catch up with. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks a lot. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hope you've enjoyed the catch up. We will speak to you again very, very soon. I'll post this into the announcements channel as soon as I've uploaded it to the YouTube. And yeah, they say no news is good news. Just keep going, keep doing what you're doing, keep sharing, and we will speak to you again very soon with some more news and some more updates. Remember, you will be seeing the back testing in the next few days. Keep an eye out for that. We'll let you know. All right, everyone, take care. Speak to you soon. Cheers. Bye-bye.